Hey everybody, it's Sheila back again. Today we're going to make some badge reels. They can also be used as magnets or phone grips. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to be using some cat eye gel nail polish from Mizai and from Ibanku. And also the Let's Resin UV Resin high viscosity, which I find the high viscosity when you're working that cat's eye um, style works a lot better really than a thinner UV resin. So I am adding the UV resin to the heart, which I got this mold from Let's Resin. And I'm going to fill this about 2/3 of the way full. This bottle is just about empty here, so I'm trying to get the last out of it, which I encourage everybody to do. Resin can be expensive, so I like to tip these upside down and use them until I know they're empty. But that one is definitely empty, so let's go ahead and switch over to another bottle. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to fill this again, like I said, about 2/3 full. I want to leave room for the gel nail polish, which comes with a magnet, so we can move the colors around. Pretty cool. And I'm also kind of going slow here because I don't want to get a lot of bubbles. I can hit this with a lighter or some heat to remove the bubbles, or even some 99% isopropyl alcohol. But usually I don't have to do that with this resin. It comes up pretty nicely, and I usually don't have a lot of bubbles, but we'll see. All right. And as I say, bubbles, guess what comes up? A few bubbles. And this little dotting tool is very handy for popping all of those little bubbles. I'm kind of making sure that the resin has gone to all the corners of this as well. Okay. Now I'm going to take the green cat's eye gel by Mizai, and I'm going to put 5 little dots. And this takes a lot of patience. This stuff drips out really slowly. It drips off the applicator very slowly. And I'm just putting a little dot. I don't want a big blob. I don't want it to sink to the bottom, which is why I like to use the thicker viscosity UV resin here. I just want this to kind of sit on the top because I'm going to stir these two colors together. I have a lovely purple blue and this amazing green. They're very, very sparkly, and you can see in the top right corner there, if my big hand weren't in the way, it's starting to spread out a little bit, which is exactly what we want it to do. And then we can move it a little bit with the magnet as well. So now I'm going to put a drop in the middle here. And then I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to grab this purpley blue and do the same thing. I'm just going to put dots in between my green dots. And eventually I'll swirl them together. Takes a lot of patience some days, but you learn to go slow when you have to. You don't have to go fast when you're working with UV resin. It won't start to set till the UV light hits it. And I've got a lovely little giant, looks like a giant toothpick here that I want to swirl these colors together with. It's got a nice little point on it. And when I go to swirl them, I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom. So there's took me a minute to find it, of course. And I'm just going to go through the center, starting on the right, and go through the center of these dots and swirl all the way around through them. Come down through the side, back up through the center, and give it a little roundish swirl in the middle. Yeah, I probably should have done a little bit more round on the top there, but that's all right. It still will be fine. All right, so take my magnet and I'm going to spread the colors out a little bit, see if I can move some of that closer towards the top of the heart and out towards the margins. Sometimes you got to be careful because you do too much playing and you lose your color. So let's go ahead and we're going to hit this with the light. Got to clean up my mess here. If you don't clean this up, I guarantee you your hands will be in it and then it will be all over your pieces. Okay, let's go ahead and hit this for 5 minutes, put some music on for you, and I'll be back in 5. Wanna take a trip to... Okay, let's see what we got here. You notice I just turned a UV light on next to me. I would never recommend doing that, but when you're working with gel polish, it almost has to be under the light for it to start setting. So this is a rainbow cat eye gel nail polish by McCoy. And it's going to have kind of a nice sparkly, really kind of more of a clear effect than rainbow per se, but when the light hits it, it does have those glittery rainbow colors to it. And I am basically at the end of this bottle here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stretch this out. And it looks pretty thin to me, but I'm going to see if I can use it anyway. I want to make sure I use all of my materials, as UV resin and nail gel can be pretty expensive. And I'm putting this in, I'm being very careful. I'm trying not to touch the sides of the mold. I just want it to kind of brush up to the very bottom of where the resin meets the mold. If it touches it, no biggie. I'll just have to, go back and clean it off a little bit later, but just want to get as close to the edge as I can. And again, I have another project I'm working on next to me that's with Cat's Eye. I'll show you the end result of that in a little bit here. But again, you really should protect your work from any UV light, whether it's coming in through your window as sunshine or light, or from your resin, UV resin light. A little gravelly again today. The allergies, boy, pollen's really high in Southwest Florida again today. It is spring, so what do you expect? I'm not sure about this. As you're looking at it, it probably looks pretty clear to you. I'm seeing a little sparkles, but not a lot. Get those edges. Yeah, we can always give this a try and see how it works out. No. Let's go ahead and use this silver Cat's Eye gel polish from Ibanku. That'll have a nice shiny effect to it. I'll just spread that around. And now I can see the sparkles. You may be able to see some of the glitter, some of the silvery color. Especially if you look towards the top right. If my hand would get out of the way, you'll start to notice that there's a little more glittery color to that. And we'll just touch that up. All right. Make sure I clean up any mess I'm leaving behind on my mold. And we're just going to touch that up, and now we'll go ahead and we'll hit that with the light. And 5 minutes, and I'll be back.
a trip to the wild side. Wanna learn how to be brave, take what's mine.
Okay, we're back. You'll notice you're looking at the back of the mold, which is actually the front of the heart. During the fast forward, I went ahead and flipped this over, and I'm going to be covering the back of this with a colored UV resin, which is black by J. Diction. I flipped the mold over and hit what would be the front side of that with the UV light, just to make sure that I'm setting everything on both sides. It's such a deep mold, so I want to make sure everything is curing both on the front and the back. So again, you're looking at the back of the mold here, or the back of the heart when it comes out. And I'm just spreading this black tinted resin around to all the little nooks and crannies on the heart. It is self-leveling, but I don't want to wait all day for it to reach all of the little points. Actually, there's only 2 points on the heart, but those upper rounded areas, and I want to get into all of the margins, so I'm going to help it along a little bit here. You can place a mirror under a clear mat, under a clear mold, and you may not have to flip the mold over to hit what would be the front side of this, but I chose to just do it anyway and not use a mirror today. So just to keep it simple. Sometimes we don't always have all of the supplies and you need just the basics. So let's go ahead and just put a little bit more. I want this to be, again, about just about full to the top, but not quite. I want to leave myself some room. We'll pop that bubble here. A couple others. Really, again, don't need to hit this with a lighter. You always have to be careful when you're putting heat with your resins and on your molds. Looks like it could be a little thin right in the center there, a little more transparent than I would like, but we'll see. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and put this under the light for another 5 minutes. It's dark. I want to give it enough time and see how it goes.
Wanna take a trip to the wild side. Wanna learn how to be brave, take what's mine. Wanna learn about what's on the inside. 'Cause I feel like we're running out of time. Yeah, I make typical. It's all physical. So good, it's criminal. Yeah, I'm invincible. Yeah, I make typical.
While we're waiting for this to finish, on the bottom right here, I am lining a round badge reel with an Edding silver marker. It'll give it a nice silver shine. So far, it's looking pretty good. I like the way it's turning out. A little spot here. I notice there's a little bit of a crack in the side of that. Maybe from the UV resin versus using an epoxy resin, but easily lined over with a marker, so no big deal. I think I'll do the heart-shaped one that way as well. I'll just put the cap back on this so it doesn't dry out on me. And let's see what we got here. All right, this little guy I was working on the side. Just colored in the badge reel and set it with some UV resin. And I did flip the mold over during the fast forward on this to make sure it was set on both sides. And it looks pretty good. Nice. Oh, that's really pretty. You can see that gold or the silver glittery background, a little fuzz on that. Not a big deal. All right, shiny on the back. Maybe I'll dome it. Looks good to me. So I've taken the badge reel and I actually glued the heart and the round charms, if you will, to them. and they are ready to go. You just got to attach the name badge to the bottom. This was the round one again that I was working on the side. Came out very well. Love the silver. And this is our finished product. Absolutely love it. I will put a link to all the products I use to make the badge reels in the description below. I am an Amazon associate and may qualify for bonuses on purchases from those links, just to let you know. Thank you for joining me today, and as always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like, and thanks to those of you that have bought me a copy. So have a good day, everybody, and until the next time, we'll see you again soon.